Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Zion Studios Co. Or welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Chelsea. Tonight we are talking content creation convos. I'm super excited. So I just wanted to welcome you all. Let me know if you can hear me or if there's any issues with visually, if you can't see me or anything like that. So yeah, welcome. If you hear any noise in the background, I do apologize. Also, I'm getting ready to work out after this video, so yeah, just keep that in mind. All right. So tonight we are talking the 3 ways to upgrade your video editing. Now, I could have easily turned this into a video that I pre-record and everything like that, but I'm doing a challenge for myself that for the next 10 days, well, it's less than 10 days now, but going live here on my YouTube channel to educate you all on creating content in amazing ways, even if you're an amateur, right? So in my business, Zion Studios Co., I help amateurs create amazing content. Okay, so whether that is photography or videography, if you're wanting to know how to improve the content that you create for your business, for your brand, or just as a creative in general, then I'm here to help you, right? So again, tonight we're talking about the 3 ways to upgrade your video editing. Now I do have my notebook here for my notes, so if you see me like looking down or looking off to the side, that's what that is. Okay, so I wanted to think about how I wanted to start this off. And I just feel led to start off with a story time, okay, because we all love story times. And tonight, the story time is the time that I was hired to create content, specifically a reel for a brand, and they only paid me $20. Yeah, they only paid me $20 to create this reel, and the fact that this reel, like, it required a lot of editing because it was very, like, the creativity that I had for this reel was just like next level, and it required a lot of editing, and it took a lot of time to be able to do that. And at the time, I really didn't know how to price my products and services and things like that, so obviously I really lowballed myself. And so yeah, just terrible experience, right? Well, the reel came out amazing, right? A lot of people grew a lot of traffic, a lot of customers, things like that. But it was terrible for me because I didn't make any money from it, right? And so yeah, that is a very not traumatic, but interesting experience that I had that really taught me, one, the importance of, upgrading my video editing, because once I made that reel and I saw like how much I enjoyed editing and how intricate it is and detailed it is, I absolutely loved it. But also the amount of money that I could make from it, in video editing. And so for those of you who are video editors, or you want to get into video editing, or maybe you just want to improve video editing skills for your own personal use, then this video is just for you. Okay. So the first way to upgrade your video editing that a lot of people may not think about is purchasing transition packs. Okay, so what that is you can go online, Google or whatever, and there are different sites that have transition packs, which means it's a bundle of different transitions that you can download onto your computer, and you can upload it to the software that you use to edit, and then you can add those specific transitions into your video. Now, what I love about this is that, one, there are certain transitions that you just won't use or know unless you have the pack, right? So you might see your favorite YouTuber, or you might see maybe someone in a movie or film and how they edit it from one scene to the next, and you thought that that was really cool. More than likely they used a transition pack. So a transition pack, again, is a bundle of transitions. They're in a specific coding is how they create it, and then you can download them onto your computer and add them to your editing software, and they'll pull up and you can pop them into your video. So when you're editing one clip and another clip, you can put the transition in there, and it'll create a cool way for you to just showcase, going from one page to the next, essentially, of your story, right? Now, this is important too because a lot of times our software already has transition examples on there and transition templates on there, but they could be just, regular, degular, schmegular, and it doesn't really allow us to give that pop and that creativity that we would like, right? And especially if if you're editing a video for someone else, like a client, or if you just want to improve, again, your own personal branding, whether you're a YouTuber or for Reels, things like that, these transition packs can work as well on those platforms too. So that's the first way, is to purchase transition packs, okay? Number 2 is to invest in a paid editing software, specifically like Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere, okay? Now, you might be saying, well, Chelsea, how much is it? All of those things. My answer to that is, how much are you willing to invest? Right? How much are you willing to grow in your craft if you know that this is something that you want to do and you know that it's going to financially benefit you in the long haul, right? If you know that you're already getting traffic to your page, to your brand, to your videos, even with clients, but you want to take it up a notch and you don't already have this software, then I highly encourage you to invest in a paid editing software, right? A lot of times we try to cheap out, right, using free software, right, which is good if you're doing like a trial run or you just want to test out the software first before you invest, which these particular editing software systems that I just mentioned do offer a free trial. So that's good to know, so that way you can test it out, get familiar with it before you invest, right? But then there comes a time where you have to go, how invested am I in my creativity? How invested am I in my craft? Right? And so investing in that editing software. For me personally, I invested in Final Cut Pro. I've had it for several months now, and it's been well worth the money. Okay. Absolutely love Final Cut Pro. It does have some of the similar features as iMovie. However, there are a lot more transitions, a lot more types of fonts, and like titles and intros and outros that you can use with Final Cut Pro that you do not get with iMovie, which iMovie automatically comes if you have a Apple product, laptop, computer, desktop, all of those things, right? Adobe Premiere is also very popular as well too. I've played around with it, but I have not specifically invested in that particular program as of yet, so I can't really speak much on that as of right now. If you have, feel free to leave a comment down below if you personally have used Adobe Premiere or if you like Adobe Premiere over Final Cut Pro. I'm an Apple girl, so, I'm always going to go for Apple. So yes, investing in a paid editing software is super important, right? And then the third way to upgrade your video editing is to try new techniques. Y'all, I know it sounds cliche, but I literally just try stuff and see if it works, see how I like it. That's the only way that you're going to upgrade your video editing, is if you play around with the transitions, with the intros, the outros, the fonts, right? Just play around with it. Take your time. Editing in itself is a very tedious and detail-oriented feature, right? When it comes to filming or creating videos, okay? Especially if you're doing it right and you want to create a storyline, because when you make your videos, you're literally telling a visual story. Okay, so you don't, like, when you think about a story that you read in a book, you don't just go from page 1 to page 30 and you just, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, there's a story that goes, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. And that's how you have to think about your storytelling visually when you make a video, right? Especially if you're making a vlog. If you go on my channel, you'll see I have tons of vlogs, right? So for me, in my storytelling, when it comes to a vlog, I will usually start with the beginning of the week. I'll start with what I do in the morning, or, depending upon what time I start vlogging, but usually it's in the morning. So I'll bring you along to my morning, my afternoon, my evening, and then into the next day, right? Because generally that's how our day goes. We have morning, afternoon, and then night, right? I know that there are some visual storytellers or vloggers that start off with a poppin' event, right? So they'll start with the popping event and then they'll use a rewind transition, right? And then they'll go back to the morning, afternoon, and night, right? Like, so that's a pretty cool way to do it. But that, again, that's something you have to try out. You have to be willing to try out new techniques, see what your audience likes, see what they don't like, be willing to play around, take your time. That's the biggest tip that I can give to any video editor, anyone that is wanting to improve in their video editing skills for their own personal use, is to take your time, right? Sometimes I meet, like, I'm talking professional vloggers who get paid big bucks, right, to make these vlogs, and I'll watch their vlogs and I can tell that they forgot to cut out a clip from their vlog, right? And so it's repeated. It's a repeated clip that they just forgot to take out, right? So again, taking your time, you can prevent those. It's not necessarily wrong, but it just helps you to improve your skill set and your professionalism when you're creating a visual story, right? So again, trying new techniques. There are tons of videos that you can watch to learn, specifically with installing the new transition packs that I mentioned, as well as, testing out the editing software. In our creative community here at Zion Studios, we do have a program that helps you to learn how to install those transition packs, how to learn how to video edit one-on-one, things like that. So if you are interested in that, you can join the Zion Studios creative community. The link is in the description box of this live. You can go click on that. You can be a part of the community. And in that community, you can also surround yourself with other creatives who are looking to grow in their craft and in their faith as well too. And like I said, we have programs that we offer that help you to learn how to video edit, how to improve your video editing, literally how to walk through it step by step, because sometimes you can watch a video on YouTube, but you can't necessarily go to that person and say, hey, how do I do this, right? But in the Zion Studios creative community, we do that. So you have access to ask questions, to get information, to get resource, and you're around like-minded creatives. So again, that link is in the description box below. And so open enrollment is now available for that. Now, what do I want to leave you with when it comes to upgrading your video editing, right? Once you have upgraded your video editing, right? If you remember the story that I told at the beginning about the brand that only paid me 20 bucks to make a reel, that took over 6 hours to make. I definitely lowballed myself on that one. One tip that I would make is when you improve your video editing skills, it's very important that you pay attention to that when it comes to working with clients or working with brands, right? Because as you improve and upgrade your video editing skills, that's going to draw more attention to your platform, right? So when you have more attention coming to your platform, that means that more eyes are on your business, they're on your brand, they're on you as a creative, and people are going to be reaching out to say, hey, can you create this piece of content for me? Can you, do you want to partner? Do you want to collaborate? All of these things. And even if, someone says, hey, can you teach me how to do this, right? You want to keep this in mind when it comes to pricing, right? If you're using this as a marketing tool for your business, or you're looking to get into video editing, things like that, right? So just pay attention to that in pricing, and just, again, don't lowball yourself, right? Know your worth. Obviously, that sounds so cliche, but it's so true, to know your worth and know the creativity that you bring and the amount of work that goes into what you do, right? When you are learning a skill, when you are building a resume, if you will, of different content, it's important to keep that in mind. So as you work with these companies, you pay attention to what they bring also, right? So if I'm working with a brand who makes, maybe $32,000 in a day, there's no way I'm going to only charge 20 bucks. Like, it's just not happening, right? So being mindful of that as well too, especially in the negotiation phase, right? Don't be afraid to negotiate, right? As a creative, sometimes we feel like we can't negotiate, or that, we get the short end of the stick. Definitely protect your creativity. protect your creativity. Make sure you understand your intellectual property rights. Make sure you understand your copyright rights. All of those things are important. Again, in the Zion Studios creative community, we definitely talk about that in our online programs, and as a community on how to protect our rights as creatives, to ensure that businesses and brands are not just exploiting our work without, paying us what we're worth. Right. So those are the 3 ways to upgrade your video editing. The first way, again, was to purchase transition packs. Those are the packs that you can purchase that you download onto your computer. You add them to the software that you use to edit, and then you can implement them into your videos. The second way is to invest in a paid editing software, right? So we're moving away from the iMovie and the free trials, right? And we're moving into things like Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, the paid version of certain apps that we use, okay? And then the third way is to try new techniques. Don't be afraid to take your time, try things out, see what you like, see what works, and fall in love with your creativity, right? As a creative, like you want to love what you created at the end of the day. It's like a baby, right? So every video that you make, you want to say, I really love it. So even if no one else likes it or whatever, you love it. So yeah, trying new techniques. And then once you upgrade, definitely incorporate that in your pricing as well. And then last but not least, make sure that you click the link down below to join the Zion Studios creative community, where we have a community of like-minded creatives, where we all grow in our faith and in our craft together. And we also have some online programs for those that are looking to learn how to video edit one-on-one. Maybe you don't do well with just watching videos and, figuring out on your own, and you want some like one-on-one help. We have that all in the community there. Maybe you're interested in learning how to protect your creativity. We also have that in the community as well. And so, yeah, I look forward to seeing you all in the Zion Studios creative community. Thank you so much for joining me on this live. If you have any questions or just want to leave a comment, leave them. And at the end of this video, I'll definitely go back and watch them. So hope you all have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.